very, very frustrated, and our team is experiencing, and our coaches and players, we're experiencing a significant test right now, trying to have the mental toughness to overcome some very, very difficult results over the last few weeks, and what we've got to do is find ways to continue evolving and changing our process to prepare to find the advantages we can to be at our best for these games. Having watched the tape, I do feel like even with some things that we could do a lot better, coach a lot better, me personally, that it was right there for us. And, we just need to find ways to get it done, in the end. I think we got the right people in this building. I think we got the right guys in that locker room. I'm very, very confident that we will push forward through, this test collectively, individually, and really the best version of this team is out there. It's still out in front of us, and my job is to try to get us to that point, and that's pushing everybody in this building to embrace this as the challenge that it is, and ultimately attack it. And we can, go through the tape today with the players. What I'm asking for is, a personal and collective responsibility for every single guy and coach to look inward and where are those little things we can do better, where are the big things we can do better, and then ultimately have those results start coming via how we're going about attacking this. But come Wednesday, my expectation is we'll have as much urgency and positive energy going into having our best week of preparation yet, and my belief is that the result will come with that. But it's all about how we get there. It's very easy to be in a situation where we're 0-3, and there's going to be a lot of noise about what that means long term, but we've got to find a way to worry about the little things first and collectively build on those positive little things until it equals the result that we need it to equal on Sunday. Positives, I thought, offensively with the running game and the explosives and kind of feeling a little bit more, at least outside of the red zone, how we want to feel as an offense. 1 of 4 in the red zone was definitely a huge reason why we lost the football game. There were some plays to be had there, and we just didn't make, a couple of those plays, and I got to have a couple better calls, especially, on some of those sequences where, we could possibly, either run the football in or find a way to throw it in. The turnover margin, again, we lost the turnover battle there on the last one. We had a chance to maybe flip that number. That offense does not turn the football over a lot. I think their quarterback, does a really good job of that. He did give us an opportunity there late in the game when we had the lead, and they go from 3rd and 17, 2 plays later. They're scoring a touchdown, 3rd and 17 from midfield, and then 2 plays later, we're trying to chase that lead again. Those are some of the things that I think just as a group, all 3 phases, we need to continue to try to chase. Just giving you an injury update, Bradbury, our hope is that he can, he had a very good work week last week and feels stronger, and he's getting right there. We'll see how he goes through the week. Hopefully we'll have him this Sunday in Carolina. We'll kind of monitor Marcus Davenport as well, see what kind of work he can do early on in the week and how that looks for Sunday. And then Byron Murphy did have a little bit of a hip contusion. He'll be sore, but I'm hopefully expecting him to be able to work through that. And then Josh Metellus with his shoulder, just ultimate toughness to basically do what he did yesterday. Now we just got to continue to try to get him recovered, and so much respect for Josh and how he battles through it. But with that, I'll turn it over to you guys.
Kevin, when it comes to the strange bounces that you've sort of seen this year, you mentioned a Caleb one. I guess when you're making adjustments and changes, how do you kind of separate what is random and strange and when you're against you and what needs to be adjusted?
Yeah, it's all to me about situational emphasis. It's all technique fundamentals. What was the call? What technique did you play? Was it the right technique? Where were your eyes? The reaction? All those things that we can coach. Just continuing to coach the smallest of details to make sure that those guys understand exactly how we need them to play in those moments, that when those opportunities do present themselves, we start making those plays. And I think there's examples of it on our football team for a lot of guys to look towards, of guys that play with great technique, fundamentals, urgency, understanding of what we're trying to get done, and those guys tend to shine on Sundays, and that's where we got to get our whole roster to.
Should Evans have had that interception, or was the degree of difficulty on that catch just too tough?
Yeah, I think it was a tough play for sure, but I think Caleb would be the first one to say, he could have made that play, and then ultimately, not only do we not catch it, but they do on the tip. Is pretty unique and quite a swing, when you think about what might have been in that situation, with the lead and the way we were running it, a chance to finally have a lead in the fourth quarter and really put a stamp on what we did running the football. I think there would have been some opportunities there to maybe go on a long time-consuming drive for points that put us in a better position to win the game.
Kevin, defensively, how do you kind of reconcile the whiplash of what the Eagles did 2 weeks ago run-wise?
Yep.
What Chargers did yesterday pass-wise. How do you process those two very different ways that they were successful?
Yeah, I thought they had a good plan to get the ball out versus some of the pressure looks. Our tackling was pretty good on the perimeter with there were a lot of bubbles and kind of quick throws and not really trying to worry about blocking up some of those pressure looks, and they got the ball out in space on a few scenarios there in the second half. We're close to maybe having an impact on the quarterback before he's able to push the ball down the field, and there's enough plays like that versus a really, really good quarterback. And Keenan Allen obviously having a big day, making some critical plays. That 3rd and 17 kind of back across the field play was a little bit of a backbreaker because, obviously what happened on the next play. But that was a chance, for us to get off the field right there once again with the lead. And what does that look like? Kevin, I just think every single week is going to be by game plan, how we want to approach defensively, deploying our personnel, how we're going to play personnel-wise, what groupings are going to be in the field or on the field, and ultimately, what Flo and his staff feel are the best way to try to attack the opposing offense. And as we put more on tape, we've got to be ready to adjust and be ready for the counter punches people are seeing based upon how we're building defensive plans early on in the season. And I think there's a evolution that will take place on both sides, and it's always going to come down, defensively to those 1 or 2 or 3 plays that could really get you off the field and change the whole landscape of the game. And I've got confidence in our guys to make those plays and the flow to get us in the right call. That's something we'll continue to work towards.
Along the lines of adjusting, I think yesterday was a very heavy blitz day.
Yep.
In retrospect, did that need to be adjusted during the game, or was that the best, approach, do you think?
Well, I thought it got us into some situations where we had some 3rd down potential stop opportunities, and then how they were able to stay manageable using the quick elements and things, and then set up explosive on the trick play. They had a good plan, and we know those things are coming when you can kind of see the menu of the day early on, and that's where we got to continue to try to take away people's fastballs whenever we can, but react when that ball gets put in play with the chance of being explosive. We got to react and make a play.
Kevin, revisit the sequence at the end of the game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In that spot, does Kirk have the latitude, I guess, to just say, communication's going haywire, I'm just going to bring everybody up and clock it rather than waiting for a call to come in?
Yeah, I think so. I think the problem with that scenario was really he got bits and pieces of the call, and by the time we felt like it was a good opportunity in the moment, knowing that if we were able to use our normal frequency and timing to get up and snap that ball off, we would then have 4 chances to score from then on out, using kind of that O-zone mentality of we're throwing it in the end zone or out of bounds. And in hindsight, just with the momentum of that 4th down conversion, That's purely on me. I should, try to just clock the ball and understand that we'll take our 3 downs from there to try to score. I've got a ton of confidence in our group. If we get 3 opportunities to throw it in, we're going to give ourselves good chances to do that. Going back to some of the other red zone ops we had in the game, had a pretty clean look to Alexander on the 3rd and 5 when we were in empty, and just execution. Bosa got a good rush off the right side and hit Kirk's arm. Otherwise, that should be a walk-in touchdown right there. We should have had, we had a decent chance on another run, kind of on a pass can that we can do a run, and just end up getting tackled by the safety there right inside that 1-yard line, and then go backwards when we put our goal line group out there, which should never be the case. So it's a combination of execution in those situations, and then the end of game scenario where we do convert even after the penalty. When we without timeouts, and they charge us that penalty, we go backwards and then find a way to convert. You'd like to think that momentum there is enough to not need to continue to press, and that's where I think I was trying to keep whatever defense that Brandon was maybe going to get set there with a huddle call. I was trying to avoid that and see if we could get one. We ended up having kind of a single high look, and just didn't get the execution on that one. And another one where not only do we not catch it, but the ball ends up going up in the air to the middle of the field, and they've got some defenders there to pick it.
Kevin, there's still some ball security issues.
Yeah.
Maybe not as bad, but
No, not to cut you off. That was a huge emphasis, and really that first turnover of the day was when we were really churning out some yards, running the ball, about to enter the red zone, and we convert on that 3rd down, and the ball gets taken away, literally in a mirrored setting to our C2 split 2 kind of drill, and nobody's going to be harder on themselves about that one than TJ, but the fact of the matter is the ball is still in a critical turnover. Where we defer, defense gets a stop, and we're driving down there for points, and we come away with nothing, and then the next time we go on the field, we're trailing. So, that one, I thought there was some other times where forward progress and things, and there was a lot of discussion going on throughout the day, but we need to end every snap with the football in our hands, and that's going to be continued urgency and emphasis like it was last week, and we're going to continue to do it and do it differently and emphasize it different ways until that value is received, because that is a losing formula, as we've seen, being where we're at in the turnover differential right now.
is that something that can become contagious for a team, like guys like?
No, I think that's something that we're gonna fix one way or the other. Either guys are going to do it, or we're going to have to put other guys in the game that have ball security.
Kevin, you said yesterday that you were a part of a team that lost 3 games in a row. You
Mm-hmm.
guys went on to win a world championship.
Yep.
From your point of view on that team, what kickstarted you guys, and who do you think is going to be that guy or the group to kickstart this team?
Yeah, I think back on the collective group. I think back on our leadership, the guys on that team and in that locker room that just continued to push forward. There's going to be a lot of doubt. There's going to be a lot of noise. There's going to be a lot, and rightly so. I think we share the frustration of our fans. We have high expectations for ourselves as a football team, as did that team. And what we've got to do is, when the situation is as tough as it is right now, we've got to lean in even more. We got to do a little bit more. Every coach, every player, collectively and individually, has just got to do a little bit more. I told the team, whether you graded out 100 out of 100 yesterday on the grade sheet or not, look at it from the lens of what can I do more of? What can I do better to help the guy to my right and the guy to my left? And then ultimately, those small incremental gains will mean something when that result does finally come. And I think the process at which you go through that and work through that can be an incredible growth opportunity for this team and our organization. And like I said, I think we've got the guys to do it. And my expectation is we will. But me standing up here talking about it, certainly is not going to do a whole heck of a lot about that. And our players talking about it, we've got to ignore the noise and push forward and do it in a way where, with a purpose and a mentality, that we're going to fix some of the issues that we've had that have contributed to us losing these games, and find a way to continue doing some of the things we're doing well, do that better, and fix some of the problems that we have. And collectively, I think we're going to find the results are out there for us as a team.
Kevin, as you reviewed some of the failed third downs kind of through the course of the game, what stood out to you just on tape?
Yeah, and that's one of the things, we only had 10 third downs against the Eagles. We had, I think, with some of the penalty conversions that we had, either a hold on Justin or hands to the face on Justin, in neutral zone infraction by the defense. I think there ended up being close to 19. And with some of those penalties, we were 9 or 10 out of 19. If you count all those as did we get a new set of downs. But when I look at it, there were some real missed opportunities. That 3rd and 5 in the red zone counts with a chance for Alex screaming across there. We had Justin on another one where, the pocket we got beat on a TE and the pocket kind of collapsed. That's where, hey, what is my job on the play? How detailed, how technique and fundamentally sound were we in performing our job, and what was the result, and how was it affected by wherever, the lapses in execution were. And I think that was, showed up a couple times where we could have maybe stayed on the field with some conversions, which would have been huge the way we were running the ball.
Thanks, everyone.
All good? Thank you.
Thank you.